G-I-G-G-S. No. Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at? It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again.
Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I'm a cop a farm and go act up. Like scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy cars and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of Rhodri Giggs on football. This is episode number 28, I believe. And we're, of course, live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. And if you like your podcast in audio form, then check us out on the Sports Social Podcast Network, the UK's first dedicated sport podcast network. And you'll not only find Rhodri Giggs and football there, but all the other shows and content that we do. And as you know by now, Ace Podcast Nation, all sorts of quality content, including the Swansea versus Cardiff special yesterday with Anthony Rivers, which was it's been well received. It's been a good one to get you in the mood for the South Wales derby, which we'll discuss a bit later on. But just as we wait for some of the stragglers and hopefully my internet connection to like unblur my face, but I don't know what's going on with that at the moment. But Super Six update. Charity Super Six, as you know, raising money for Maggie Centre, Mind, all that good stuff, all those good charities. And it was a close week at the top. We had 3 people finish all on 12 points. They were only split by a golden goal prediction. Paul Cartwright came third, Jamie Richards-Knight and Mark Hector came joint first. But this week, it was all about me. I topped the celebrity group and I pulled 15 points clear of Rhodri in the process. It's pretty much game over now. May as well just hand it over. It's all over.
15 points. There's about 9-10 weeks left. You're mad.
Mate. You got inside your own head.
You carry on. Keep chatting your shit. Go on. It makes it that much better.
The problem is, mate, you make all these wild predictions now, and you get inside your own head, and it's getting problematic for you.
You've jumped the gun.
Back to basics, mate. Back to basics.
You've jumped the gun. I think your Wi-Fi needs to go back to basics. Never mind.
Super Six. I think I'm on dial-up this evening for some reason. Hopefully that'll sort itself out now. I'm gonna close some shit down and see what's going on. But of course, I'm joined by ex-Salford City, FC United winger, Mr. Rhodri Giggs. How are you, mate? Have you playing golf today?
Yeah, still a bit cold. It's windy out there. But, I'm good.
Good stuff. I'm very, very cold.
Good week. Obviously, Wales. Good win. And good game. Good run out in the week.
Yeah, it's good
to have the Premier League back now. Well, we'll have the Friday draw as well tomorrow. So,
we'll talk about that in a minute. That's going to be interesting. I'm a bit pissed off about some of the Wales have been shafted a little bit, but you know, if you're going to be in the tournament, you got to play. You got to play. At the end of the day,
it doesn't matter to me. They're not no really outstanding teams anymore. There's teams that you'd probably want to avoid, but there's teams that really, you know, if you play well, you're going to give them a good game, especially with the good players you've got. So, yeah, bring it on.
100%, mate. So we're going to play a little game for fun now, quickly, to start us off. There are, I think it's 32 places in the tournament. I want you to tell me, off the top of your head, how many teams can you name, like off the top of your head? We'll allow like the teams which haven't qualified, like Wales, Scotland, Ukraine. We'll let you those off. But how many teams can you name that have qualified for the World Cup?
Probably about 15 to 20.
So that's your estimation. So 15 at the minimum, 20 at the most, you reckon?
Yeah.
Right, then. Let me get the full list up. Right, go.
Well, Poland, Portugal.
Okay.
England, Spain, Brazil, Argentina, France, Senegal, Ghana, England. Who else is there? Who else have I missed? How many have I got there?
10.
10. Mine's gone blank. Let me think. Top nations.
Christian Eriksen.
Cameroon. Yeah. Some of the South American teams. Let me think. Uruguay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Uruguay. Do I go with Paraguay or Colombia? Or do I go with both?
Neither.
No, neither. No. Neither.
12 so far.
12 so far. Right, I need to go back to Europe now, don't I?
You haven't even touched some continents.
What, like Australia, New Zealand?
Yeah.
Japan.
So we got
South Korea.
South Korea. Yeah. New Zealand.
Yeah.
Although Australia and New Zealand have still got to play a playoff, but I'll give it to you. Then you've got obviously the host nations.
Yeah, Qatar.
There's also a couple more from that neck of the woods as well.
Saudi Arabia, you'd think.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia is a good shout. Did you say Japan?
I said Japan, yeah.
Thought you did.
Said South Korea as well.
Yeah. So I think that's 15, 16 you got.
That's more than 15, 16. But
I gave you a couple, didn't I? Come on.
Yeah, well.
Do you got...
No, let me think. That there's still...
You still got some rattling about?
Still got like 14 left, haven't there?
Yeah, there's a few left, mate. There's a couple in Europe you haven't named. There's a few.
Denmark. Croatia. Yeah, over there. It like yeah, Iran. There's a good one. Yeah. I mean, that's about 20, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's about 20. And then obviously you've got like Scotland, Ukraine, Wales is one, Croatia, Ecuador, Peru, Morocco.
Said Croatia.
Yeah, did you do with that? That was one of the ones I wasn't sure if you'd said. Tunisia.
Yeah, no, I said Croatia because Thingy popped in my mind, the little guy from Real Madrid.
No, Gigi Parry says North Macedonia. They went out to Portugal.
Yeah, Portugal beat them.
So you got Iran, you said then Canada, Mexico, Costa Rica.
Canada, Mexico, yeah, over there, yeah.
A couple of those have got to play like playoffs.
I wouldn't have got Canada. What about America, USA? Are they there?
Yeah, so you got America. There was America, Canada, Costa Rica, and
I was going to say Costa Rica. I was going to say Costa Rica or Chile, and I couldn't decide.
Yeah, see, I was just it's quite difficult.
But Costa Rica haven't been in it for years. Costa Rica used to be always in it when I was a kid, but they haven't been in it for a while. But now they're back in it. That's why I didn't say it. I thought, oh, Chile, maybe Chile or Costa Rica, but I didn't say it. Yeah,
they used to be the whipping boys. Costa Rica, they'd always be there, and then they'd get like a whooping every time they were there. But no, I thought it was interesting. So obviously got the draw tomorrow, and like Wales have been stitched up a little bit. I don't think it's as big a deal as some would have you kind of believe. So basically, Wales are ranked 18th in the world. They should be in pot 3. They're almost in pot 2 if you take out the host nations as well. So they're like the top of pot 3. But Ukraine would also be in the pot 3. But Scotland would definitely be in pot 4. So because this game hasn't been played, they've put all 3 teams into pot 4, which obviously makes it you're more likely to get a difficult group. However, if luck was on their side, you could also end up with a group of Qatar, Qatar, Switzerland, I suppose.
Switzerland, there's another one we didn't mention.
You could end up with a group of Qatar, Switzerland, and say Japan, which I think, and Wales. Like that's a pretty good group.
Yeah, they're more or less.
They're all tricky though, mate.
Yeah, but they're tricky because Wales would be expected to win all them games. So there's a different kind of pressure. You become where Wales are always usually the underdogs, and they're happy with that because they're comfortable with that. Where it's a different kind of pressure. Where I'm sure they'll be able to handle it, but yeah,
it's different.
Like I said before we started, there's no standout Brazil teams of the 80s or 70s, no France team of the 90s, no Spain team of the 2000s. Probably England are the most, strongest in depth with the squad, the players. But then you've got the usual suspects. France will look very strong. Spain, but we've seen these Germany, but we've seen these teams go out of recently of late, very early. So. Yeah, if we're all the players are all fit, they're all ready to go. If we make it, not when. So if we make it, which I'm sure we will, if whoever we get, because we've got a home game and we're playing well, but it'll still be a tough game. But if we make it, I don't care who we play. To be honest, I'd rather play someone like Brazil or it's better games. Imagine you beat them, and you go to a quarter-final, semi-final after beating Brazil or Spain or France. Yeah, that's what you want to play. You don't want to play them minnow sides as a player. You want to play the best. You're in the World Cup.
Yeah, if you're going to be there, play those teams. In my opinion, the worst game for Wales is England because I think it brings so much more pressure and it's a different game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just because they know each other, and it's always they're close games, but England are dominant. They should be with the players they've got. So, we need to stay away from them because
my ideal group, if I could pick, would be Qatar, Netherlands, and Poland. That would be who I would like in Wales's group if we were there.
Netherlands are a young side. Netherlands will be dangerous.
Yeah, but it's a big team, and I think we wouldn't be expected to win. I'd rather play them than Germany, Denmark, Uruguay, Mexico, Croatia. I think, to be honest,
I'd fancy us against any of them.
I think the South American teams bring their own challenge, don't they? Because we don't play them as much, and I think.
But they don't play. They don't play us. It's a totally different game. True. Plus, it's a different climate as well. Will the heat come into it? Yes, they're saying that the air conditioned stadiums, but I find it hard to believe that it's going to be air conditioned stadiums. Probably be cool air coming into it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, guaranteed. Well, Rob just said there, guaranteed. Wales will get Belgium in their group if they get there because we
usually get Belgium, don't they?
Someone just said, I can't remember who it was, about Italy. I hope they're being sarcastic because Italy did not qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, they're out.
They are out, as are now North Macedonia. Let's talk about the Wales games, mate, because I thought both games were thoroughly enjoyable for different reasons. I loved, obviously, the first game. We made it to the playoff final. I thought Wales were excellent. And really, the only reason it ended up being a bit tense was a deflected goal. If that goal hasn't taken a deflection, I think Wales probably would have comfortably seen the game out because I thought they were relatively comfortable after the initial. It was a bit tricky in the first sort of 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, they played well, didn't they?
But Austria started well. But I've got to say, mate, Gareth Bale, just a special player, and he shut people up, I think. And the way he's been treated, mate, has been shocking by not just the fans in Spain, because the abuse he gets constantly on social media is unreal from Real Madrid fans. But I think I sent it to you. They were on a Spanish program which was covering the Wales game. This Spanish journalist who works for one of the the mainstream places over there, he went in hard. He said Bale should be sacked by Madrid because he's done that for Wales, which shows that he could have played for Madrid the weekend before. He was unwell, and basically said they should sack him and blah 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 blah. But it's just the language they use, the way they talk about him is so disrespectful. It's like they've forgotten that he had a massive hand in winning them 2 Champions League trophies, several league trophies, and at the end of the day, a big part of the reason why his relationship has soured with Real Madrid as a football club is because of the way Zidane treated him. And ultimately, you can't blame Gareth Bale for that. Has there probably been points over the last 18 months, 2 years where he could have played and he's had a knock and he's seen a Wales game coming up and thought, do you know what? I'm not going to risk it. Maybe. But ultimately, he turns up for Wales every game and he gives his all, even if he doesn't play well, because of who he is. He enables other players to excel, even if he has an off night. And then when the big games come, 9 times out of 10, he does something special, whether it's an assist or, like we saw, that free kick was sensational. And even the finish for the second goal, I think the instinct, just control, under pressure control as well, with some players surrounding him, and then he just strokes it in the corner, unstoppable. And I don't think Wales are a one-man team. I've said that even since 2016, when that used to get thrown at us a lot. I don't, because I think there's so many other players who contribute. And one of my most enjoyable things about watching the friendly, the game after, was seeing people like Brennan up front, looking like
Johnson,
a real footballer. Yeah, Brennan Johnson, sorry, and Rabbi Matondo, and all these young footballers. But I thought Brennan Johnson particularly has really set his stall out to push for a starting space. I was kind of on the side of whether he should start against Austria anyway, because I think he's been so good this year. But ultimately, it was the Gareth Bale show for the Austria game. But do you agree with what I say about it being tense, probably only because of their goal, or do you think that's probably doing a bit of a disservice to Austria?
No, well, I think you're spot on. First 10, 15 minutes, he was a bit nervy, but then got into the game and once the goal went in, it was comfortable. Daniel James had multiple one-on-ones that he should have scored at least 2. At that level, you should be putting away. And he didn't. So, against the top sides, you can't squander them kind of chances. You just can't. And they nearly come bite you in the arse at the end because, at the end of the last 10, 15 minutes, it could become a bit nervy because, one goal, doesn't matter what level, you're still in the game. So, and they get on the ascendancy, to get the wind behind the tails. But, Wales held on comfortably in the end and, deserved win. Gareth Bale was goals are just unbelievable.
Yeah, and I mean Dan James, look, he would have been breathing a breath of relief, I guess, after the Austria game, because look, if Austria had got back into it, I'm sure some people would have been asking questions of his finishing. He had numerous chances to put the game out of sight. My thing with it is, look, he keeps getting in those positions. He's got a pace. So let's not be too critical of him. We won the football match and he's getting.
No, I wasn't critical. I wasn't critical. I was saying it would be critical if it was against the better teams, because the better teams will punish you.
Yeah, 100%. And it's something which he's got to address. He's got to just work out a way to just make those chances count. And I know, I believe Solskjaer did quite a lot of work with him on his finishing when he was at United. But it's a shame because he gets in these great positions. He's got the pace and he's got the skill. He just
come with time, mate, with experience. You'd think
he's still young, isn't
you know.
he?
He's still everything's 100 mile an hour probably in his brain still. Once his brain slows down, and he can be able to just because it's the last touch or the shot. It's just he just needs to get a little bit more composure. Yeah, because like you say, he's always getting the chances, and his speed will get him in chances like that. But he just needs to, you know, if he was sticking them chances away, he wouldn't have left Man United. But because you're constantly getting in good areas and it's a bad cross or it's like the one-on-ones, you've got to be finishing them. But I'm sure that'll come. And like you say, as long as he's getting in them positions, but against the big teams, you'll get punished. So you have to put them away. It's the way he like kind of dismisses it. It's like, oh, whatever, and just it's really good chances just to put the game to bed. To go 3-1, it's game over. And
knocks the stuffing out of Austria, doesn't it?
When it's game over, you get more confidence. You start bopping it about a bit more, and then you might go and get another, and then it's a really good night. But in the end, it become a nervy one because he didn't take his chances. The really good ones as well, one-on-ones at that level, the way he's coming across, it should be a goal. It's just the last touch. He's done the right thing by going across, but it's just the last touch. If he has a nice touch there, he could pass it round him, he could run round him. There's multiple things he could have done, but it's just his last touch. Just a bit more composure, but I'm sure it'll come.
Indeed, mate. What did you think of the second, the friendly that Wales played? Did you watch all of that?
I was watching bits. I was going back and forth. I was watching England. I was watching Portugal. I was watching Wales. But mostly I was watching Wales. Yeah, they played well. It's what you want, to give these players more experience at that type of level. And yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, we've been saying for a while, like the last few years. I mean, I remember like probably 3 years ago saying like, what these next few years, if the Wales under-21s go and develop into what they can be, Wales could have a really special squad, whole group, rather than having like one or two sort of top quality players. They could end up with a full squad of like exceptional young footballers. And at the moment, it's going in that direction. It's just a case of getting them playing regular football. Like you look at the difference in Nico Williams. Now he's playing like weekly football. Ruben Corwell's playing a bit more. Brennan Johnson's been superb. Shout out to Wayne Hennessy, mate, as well.
Yeah, 100 caps for any country is, and he as what I can remember, he's never let Wales down. He's always been a good servant, come in when he's needed, and played well when he's played. So, great service. I'm sure he's got many more to go as well.
Indeed. Wales C squad, Wales C's beat England 4-0 yesterday, by the way, as well. Just thought I'd say that. Yeah,
there we go.
Let people know, obviously, because we want to bring the news to the people.
Yeah. Especially good news.
Yeah, that's it, mate. I can't find a comment because we just had a load of comments quite quickly. But someone just said that there's a possibility that Iran might be kicked out of the World Cup and then Italy would take their place. But I don't know what that's about, so I can't really put the question to you. Have you heard anything about that?
What's that?
Iran.
Anything about it? No, not anything about that, no.
GD Parry says a good group would be Qatar, Iran, USA, and Saudi Arabia all in one group. Yeah, that'd be some feisty games. That would be. And also, I tell you what, it was good to see Chris Gunter back in the Wales side as well. I liked seeing that. Chris Gunter has been a superb servant for Wales.
Yeah, he's got over 100 caps.
Yeah, he's the most capped Welsh player now, isn't he? I think. But do you know what? With him, if Wales get there, I really hope they take him in the squad.
I'm sure they will, because every time he can play multiple positions, and when he comes in, he always does a good job. So who's going on the right? Nico Williams, and then you need an experience. Yeah, he'd be definitely going.
Especially because you've got like Norrington.
No, I'd be going, mate. 23 players. You need that bit of experience as well.
Yes, Colwell took his goal well as well, I thought. And we'll talk a bit more about Colwell and Cardiff City in a bit. There was something interesting I saw, and I cannot find the bloody comment. It's gone. Someone asked you a question. Reese says, question for Rhodri. During the international tournaments, do you support England during the tournaments? Well,
negative Ghost Rider.
I was going to say, didn't he watch the Euro shows that we done with me, you and Andy and Gyro? Pretty sure you were adamant about who he was supporting, but like obviously we talk about him, and then we're going to talk about him now.
I've watched England over the years because mostly, obviously, the United players there was always 5 or 6 United players in there, so you'd always watch them, and you'd always be kind of support him because the United players, but you don't want him to lose. I don't really care, but you don't want. Yeah, it's just you don't want him to. You want him to do well because you don't want him to win it because you hear that it's coming home shit again, constantly, and then they don't win it, and then everyone kicks off, wreck the crowd, wreck the gaff, and so it's just like but no, you always want him to do well, but not win it.
Yeah,
never at the end of it.
So Ethan Ampadu is already on 40 caps for Wales. He's 21.
Yeah,
he's going to end up, if he doesn't get like any serious injuries in his career, he could end up.
He looks like a good athlete. He looks like a good athlete. And can play, Tuesday, Saturday, no problem. So
he's going to be a player and a half. He is.
Yeah, I've liked him the first time I seen him when he come and played for Chelsea. To be honest,
I much prefer him playing holding midfield though for Wales than I do when they've played him at the back. I know he can do a job at the back, especially if they play 3 centre-backs, but I think he makes such a difference when he's played in the middle alongside Joe Allen, and he's got that bit of aggression, and he gives the legs that Joe Allen perhaps hasn't got these days, and I think it's quite a good little pairing.
He can pass as well, though. He's tidy, but like you say, he's like a young Declan Rice.
Yeah, a better Declan Rice, we'll say.
Well, he's still got a long way to go. Declan Rice wasn't at that level, probably at 21, but he might have been. But that's kind of the progress I see of him. But we'll see.
Yeah, he's been very good, mate. I wouldn't be surprised to see him doing very well over the next few years in the Premier League or in the German league, wherever he ends up playing his trade. Right. The other thing. There you go. So basically, Iran refused to allow women to into their last World Cup qualifier. They were warned by FIFA, I would assume, that they would be punished, and they still did it. So there's rumours that they could be disqualified because of that. So my thing with that is, whilst I agree with the kind of the thought behind it, it's going to open up a big can of worms going into a World Cup, which is at Qatar, which has obviously got all sorts of issues away from football, which people keep rightly bringing up. And I think if you kick Iran out for doing that, then surely Iran are going to rightly kind of point to some of the things that are going to be going on in Qatar and this, that, and the other. I don't know. It's a weird one. And look, Italy don't deserve to be there because they failed to qualify. They weren't good enough, and they didn't take their chances against North Macedonia, and North Macedonia punished them for it. So for Italy to then sneak in, I think is a bit naughty. But I don't know. It's a minefield in terms of like a subject matter, and
I don't think. I think it's a bit strong to throw them out the men's side. I think you punish them for the next tournament. Right, that's it. You can't go to the next tournament. It's
a weird thing.
Yeah,
isn't it? Like,
I think it's a bit harsh. I don't really like to get into kind of different cultures, politics, whatever.
I know, yeah.
It's just, it's unfortunate. You've just got to respect these different countries and cultures. You don't have to agree with it. You just have to respect them, though, because especially if you go there.
Yeah. It's difficult to navigate, mate, isn't it, at the end of the day? Because, like, I don't want to offend or upset people and stuff like that. Do I agree with it? Probably not. Well, not, but like, it's not the player's fault either. Is the other side of it.
Yeah, it's just like when I was listening on Sky Sports, and the guy was, well, if a gay couple go to a hotel room, can they check in together? And his answer was, well, if you go with your mate and you stay in his hotel, would you check in together? The rule is you don't show, what's the word?
Public affection type
public
thing.
affection in a public place. If you're a woman or a man, or a man and a man, it's just frowned upon. So you just got to respect it. It's not forever. You're there for a week, 2 weeks. Just don't be kissing on the street. You'll be getting tugged. Just wait until you get in your hotel room. You can do what you want. But it's not. I don't see the problem with it. It's a different country. You have to respect that country. So yeah, are the laws fair? No, not really. But sometimes life's not fair.
Life's not fair. Yeah. England, mate. As always, they can't just play a couple of friendlies and it go without any sort of controversy and talking points. Harry Maguire was booed, and I was really, really happy to see Gareth Southgate and a lot of the players kind of coming out and saying, "Nah, basically shut the fuck up." Because look, Harry Maguire, we all know he's been absolute garbage this season. We know that, but he hasn't let England down once. In fact, he's actually played for England quite well a couple of times this season. Obviously, we all remember him celebrating that goal like he had won the World Cup and he was holding his ears up and that. But he has not let England down. So for football fans or England fans to boo him when he came on, I thought was just, I don't know. I just thought he was stupid, and it's just makes your fans look stupid. And I saw someone post, Harry Maguire's getting booed for playing badly for Manchester United, not for England. Danny Ward made a mistake, letting a goal for Wales during qualifying, which cost them points. And the Welsh fans sung his name for the rest of the game after the mistake. And it's kind of like the difference in how quickly fans will turn and stuff. But ultimately, I don't really get the correlation. Like, why would you boo Harry Maguire for playing badly for another team?
Hey, you've got to put this into perspective. It's probably, where was it at Wembley?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so 90,000 people. You're talking about 1% of the crowd.
But it was enough that you could hear it. Like,
it's gonna be. But for me, it's the best thing could have happened for Harry Maguire for Manchester United fans, because Manchester United fans, you will not hear one single boo now. Every time you hear Harry Maguire's name, he will get cheered. They'll be singing his name. They'll get right behind him, because we've been through this before with England, with many players. So, yeah, it's the best thing it could have happened for Harry Maguire and his Manchester United career, because Manchester United fans now, well, we've always sung it, you can stick your England up your arse. So it'll be the same on Saturday, and they'll be right behind him. For England, I can see why Southgate's played him. He's always played. Look at Pickford. He's never been beat, Pickford, or he's very rarely been beat in his career. So you'd expect him to play, even though he's third forward from bottom. In his people say, "Oh yeah, you have to play people on form." You do, but you have certain players that have played well for England who've not let you down. And sometimes you come out of your league form and come away from that, and it's kind of a release, and that can kind of get you back on form. So, yeah, he's just got to use it as a positive. He's strong enough and mental enough, and rightly so. His teammates have rallied round him, and that's what you'd expect. What should be all of them doing it, but not all of them are that way inclined. But I'm pretty sure they're all together as a team behind closed doors. They've just not been public about it. But yeah, like I say, it's probably the best thing that could have happened for Harry Maguire in his Manchester United career, because you won't hear any boos at Old Trafford now with Harry Maguire.
Well, we've seen it before with Raheem Sterling. Like, when fans get booed at international level, their club fans will kind of galvanize behind them, even if they have been, not playing well or whatever it may be. It does give them a bit of a like the club fans kind of almost want to say, well, no, we're not going to go down that road. But like Craig makes a good point. Like I say that about Harry Maguire, but if you go to the Cardiff City, Bakuna was getting booed quite a lot. And that's unfortunate. And I don't like to see that, even though, I've quite openly said for a while, he
Your club, though, Craig, is Craig English? Is Craig Welsh?
No, he's Cardiff fan. He's
right, but Cardiff's different. When it's Wales, we're all Welsh. You're not going to boo anyone. It's different.
Yeah,
it's different. Cardiff, it's a different kind of atmosphere. Players come in and come out. Them Welsh players, they're for life, and you don't boo them. You get behind them. With your club side, it's kind of different.
I also blame the managers who came before Steve Morrison for it, because they two or three managers kept picking Bakuna. He kept underperforming. He kept having terrible games, making mistakes, costing goals, etc. And eventually the fans turned, because it was almost like, well, if you're going to keep picking him, we need to make you see, sort of thing.
I
still don't agree with it. I think you just got to get behind the team.
Yeah, I don't get it. You got grown men going, boo! Go to the fucking wrestling if you want to boo. This is a football match. Booing. It's just like, what? People can pay the money, but it's not for me. I'll say a few harsh words, but I'm not going to start booing. Maybe over harshly sometimes, but it's never personally. It's just the booing. Don't get it, especially for England. Yeah. For England, he's done more than Rio Ferdinand, Tony Adams, John Terry ever did in England shirt. Ever. He's got to a European quarter semi-final. He's got to a World Cup final. Do me a favour. These England fans are these are idiots. Idiots.
Leslie says Phil Foden has always been shite for England, and he might as well be sat on my sofa.
There's different.
Is he having trouble? Is he having trouble then?
It's always been the way. Look at Alan Shearer. He was average for England. Average. But for the Premier League, he's the higher Premier League goal scorer. Harry Kane is a far better player. Is a far better player for me than Alan Shearer. And it shows international level and club level. And he'd probably go on to beat Alan Shearer's, if not, come close to it. So, yes.
So, would you agree with that? Is Phil Foden having trouble transforming his club form to international
different,
level?
Mate. It's different. Some players doing that kind of style suits Phil Foden at City play, where England play in a different kind of style, and he's just got to adjust to it. And I'm pretty sure he will. He's a young kid, but more experience. I'm sure he will. He's a very good player. Just a matter of time. But Jack Grealish, he hasn't. To be fair, he hasn't had enough chances, so I can't really say it to him. But there's been players over the years, mate, loads of them that have gone to England, and it's just not been the same. But
where does Foden play for Pep?
I think he plays on the left of a
like a three
midfield.
He play a false nine, doesn't he?
Or does he play on the right? No, he plays on the left. Yeah, he plays on the left. Or sometimes plays on the right.
Does he play that for England as well? Then yeah,
but it's different.
I know it's different, like tactics and that. I just wondered if he played a different role for England to what he does.
But it's different. But it's different players, mate. Different players being in different positions than you would expect. And when you play with teams every week, especially with City now, they're like well-oiled machines. You pass a ball and you know where certain players are going to run, or you know what certain players' capabilities of pass what he's going to do, because you've seen it many, many times with England. It's just a bit slower because you're not training, playing every week. It's just going to take time.
And I think as well is like straight away, like Man City play with a false nine, England play with an out-and-out striker. So there's a difference in the way they play.
It's all different. It's totally different.
But Craig says, looking at the qualifiers, what did you think of the lasers in Salah's face for the penalty shootout? Surely that should have been stopped or moved to the other end, or just stop the shootout until it's sorted.
Yeah, how can you? There's flipping loads of them. How can you
His
stop
whole
this?
face was green, mate. I've never seen anything like it.
Must have been. But you've seen videos of guys, they're not even hiding it. They're stood in the middle of the steps like that.
Mm.
And it's just, it's wrong. It's wrong. But, what
I didn't see it. Did he miss his penalty?
Yeah, he missed it. Yeah, and we've seen it, and we've seen the aftermath of the Nigerian Ghana game where someone's ended up getting killed. A doctor,
scary, mate. That was.
Yeah, so it's wrong. It's just wrong.
So it's kind of all gone off over there in the playoffs. So you had Salah with the lasers. Then you had Ghana versus Nigeria. The fans came on the pitch and ended up beating the doctor to death. And then in the what game was it? One of the teams is appealing. Who is it? It's the other. It's one of the other African nations. Oh, it's going to bug me. I'll come back to that. Algeria have requested that their World Cup playoff against Cameroon is replayed. They're taking legal action due to complaints around the refereeing decisions. And there was all sorts. They called it scandalous arbitration, which distorted the result. They had 2 goals ruled out, one for handball, which was by VAR, and one was for the, I think, offside. Look, they're not going to replay it because at the end of the day, that's why VAR's there, isn't it? But it's terrible. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Obviously, like the Nigeria Ghana thing was quite shocking to sort of see. Like the fans just lost it, and unfortunately, the doctor's been seriously hurt and then gone on to die. I think it's quite It's not quite sad. It's really sad that a football match has resulted in someone who's got nothing really to do with the football losing his life. It's it's madness.
Yeah, it's just, what can you do? It's just, it's
scary stuff.
Yeah, I read it before. It was just it's a doctor. Yeah.
Premier League now allowing 5 substitutes. I think that's a bit overdue because they did it, didn't they, during the during the
well, they're only a European team, the only European country not to really do it. So it makes sense.
What I don't get is why they
you've got how many subs? You got 7, 8. It makes sense. Why not? You've got these big squads now. Why back in the 80s it was 1 sub and it's gone up to 2. Now it's up to 3. Why not? You've got I'm sure it'll go up to 7. It'll carry on going up.
During lockdown, they put it up to 5, didn't they? And then for some reason they got rid of it.
It makes sense for me. 5. You've got that. You've got why have players on the bench that don't get a game or don't run out? You get as many players playing, and it's the worst feeling in the world. It didn't happen many times. I don't think it did ever happen. But to be on a bench and not get on, it's not nice. Probably happened. Yeah, probably happened once or twice, but that was in the later in the career. But I let them know about it, and it didn't happen again. So,
Denmark. Not only was Christian Eriksen back in the squad, he was back at the ground where he had a cardiac arrest, and he scored. That was quite a moment, mate. Really. Yeah,
these are the nice things you like to see in football. Right? It's just like full circle. Hopefully, he can put it to bed now. He's played a few games now, so you can obviously can do it, and it's just amazing. Yeah, like less than a year ago, he was nearly dead, and now he's playing football at the highest level. So, yeah,
like we all remember how it was quite a scary thing when they're watching it on TV and stuff. To go full circle. And and like you say, now he's not only back in the Denmark squad and playing well. I think it's incredible. And here's a good question. Craig says, will the Premier League having 5 subs next year affect the younger players who are now at the moment going out on loan? So you've got clubs like Cardiff who've got Doyle and Drama. You've got Nico Williams as a Fulham. Will Liverpool want to keep him because they've got additional subs? But I mean, they've all got 7 players on the bench or whatever.
Yeah,
now.
No,
anyway.
I don't. Yeah, I don't see that at all. No.
I wouldn't have thought so, but I
No,
suppose there's always
it gives them a more opportunity if these youngsters on the bench to get on. Look at it the other way, to get more experience. If they use free subs, it's usually the experienced players that go on. And if they're winning, or then they'll put these youngsters on. It can swing it the other way, but I don't see it. If a person needs experience or a person needs games, it's not going to get it having 15, 20 minutes. It's going to put these players out on loan.
Yeah,
We've seen it over the years. We've seen it over the years. David Beckham and some of these top players, Harry Kane, they all went on loan. There's only the select few that never went on loan, like your Wayne Rooney's, your Ryan Giggses, your Raheem Sterling's. Where was he? Did he go on loan? Was he at QPR? And he went to Liverpool, didn't he?
Yeah,
So
QPR,
all these big players when they're growing up, they all go on loan. It's what they do.
Spot on, mate. Let's talk a bit of Championship football. We've got a massive game in the Championship this weekend with Cardiff playing Swansea at 3 o'clock on a Saturday. Whilst in some ways, neither club has got a great deal to play for in terms of, like they're not getting relegated, they're not going to get in the playoffs. However, on the other side of things, neither side wants to lose to each other. Cardiff will not want to be the first team to lose, the double, which has never been done in this fixture. Swansea obviously won the first game earlier in the season. So I think, I think there's still enough riding on the game that it'll be feisty. And I actually think it might end up being a bit more open than normal because they haven't got the pressure of relegation or playoffs. They can just play their football. And I actually think it could end up being quite an open game. Maybe
at Cardiff,
yeah.
Yeah, they should be a home win then, shouldn't it? Home crowd, so. No pressures, just go out and play.
They got a lot of young players as well who have got an affinity with the club, who are all playing well. It's all off the back of playing for Wales. People like Colwell are going to be buzzing. Played for Wales, scored for Wales.
Be a good game, that.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's going to be a cracking game. It's on 3 o'clock on a Saturday, so it's have to get the old VPN out.
Someone's going to be reeking in town afterwards.
Yeah, it's going to be. There's no rhyme or reason to how they make these games and the times they make them, mate. Honestly, it's bizarre. Like
I'm down there in a couple of weeks, actually.
You? Wow.
Will and Ralph are doing some podcast thing and they're touring. They're doing it in Cardiff the last night.
Is it?
I'm down that weekend, yeah. So I think it's the 16th. I'll find out though.
Yeah. Interesting, mate. We should do something.
Yeah.
What's I say? Nico would not get on for Liverpool, but play 9. Yeah, and I think ultimately, like these Premier League teams, they've all got 7 subs now and more. So I don't think they need to start recalling the younger players just because they've got 5 subs. Because at the end of the day, Nico Williams is getting much more out of playing 90 minutes every week for Fulham than he is playing 5 minutes here and there for Liverpool. And I think that goes for the majority. There might be 1 or 2 who force their way into some of the smaller Premier League teams, first teams. But ultimately, I think generally it won't make too much difference. But I'm looking forward to the South Wales derby. I think it's going to be tasty. Get a score prediction off you, mate, for that.
3-1 Cardiff.
3-1 Cardiff. I think I'm going to go 4-2 Cardiff. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. And I think there's going to be at least 1 sending off. I think Kabanga is going to get sent off because he's going to get overexcited as he gets run ragged by the Cardiff strikers. That's what I think. Also, Celtic versus Rangers is on Saturday lunchtime, mate. That'll be
and then
really
Saturday, so Celtic Rangers, Cardiff Swansea, then United Leicester. Oh, my Saturday story. I've got early morning as well. My lad has his first football game Saturday morning. So
look at that! What a day! Watch the boy play football.
9 o'clock kickoff.
Oof, yeah, I'm 9 o'clock kickoff.
Old Trafford Juniors against Salford United.
Oh, local derby.
No, yeah.
It's going to be so you got just a day of football on Saturday, literally back to back. So don't forget to get your Super 6 in tomorrow.
No, yeah.
You've got to get that sorted.
I need to get my head down on that. I need to start studying that. Give you enough space now, so.
Wow.
Championship rounds now, so it's time to
trying to get too clever, haven't you?
That pressure cooker up.
That's it, mate. Craig wants you to guess the attendance for Cardiff versus Swansea.
What's the maximum?
30, I think. No, 28, 26, something like that.
Yeah, 27.
27.
27,000.
And there you are. There's a bet for you. Neither Cardiff or Swansea have had a penalty yet in the league yet this season, so it's guaranteed that at least one of them will get a. Well, I wonder what the odds would be for both teams to get a penalty on Saturday. Got to be big. Neither one's had a penalty all season. That's mad, man, to not have a penalty. Absolutely crazy. No penalty all season. Is that right? Well, unbelievable. As always, Leslie has requested that you give a Middlesbrough prediction. They're away to Peterborough United.
2-0. No, 2-1. 2-1.
To Borough.
To Borough, yeah.
To Borough.
So that's a long Shrek, that up the A1. Oh,
it's
hanging.
Nasty. So the Cardiff City Stadium maximum is 33,000. They're currently averaging about 26.
Yeah, so 31. We'll go over 30s.
Yeah, I think over 30,000 for a South Wales derby.
Is the sun shining in Cardiff? We'll have to have a look. Sunshine. It was cold today, though.
But yeah, it's been a bit murky today. But like earlier this week, it was quite sunny. Snowing earlier.
Yeah, no, it was
very briefly.
Snowing this morning, though.
It's always snowing by you, though, isn't it?
Sun and t-shirt on Monday, playing golf. Then today, flipping it. Bobby hat, snood, skins on,
everything,
mitts out.
Unbelievable, mate. Do you think what's the Celtic Rangers? What's going on in the Scottish Premier League table?
Celtic
are they running away with it, or is it quite close? Let's have a look. Scottish Premier League. So there's 3 points in it. Celtic ahead by 3 points. Got a better goal difference. So I mean, Rangers need that win. So that's going to be a big game. Obviously, they're on a bit of a run, aren't they, in Europe, Rangers, since he took over. It's going to be... Ooh.
Rangers and Celtic is Sunday.
Is it Sunday, is it?
Yeah, Sunday 12:30.
Yeah, that's spoiled it, isn't it?
Come on, Si. Give me bad information like that. If I had it all Saturday smashed up, then.
So, see, that'll teach me for listening to the people in the chat, won't it?
Who's the after? Oh, Liverpool, Watford. Liverpool battering Watford. That's
absolutely
that one, isn't
smash the money. Yeah, that'll be about 4-5-0.
Championship,
I think
Blackpool against Forest. Derby play Preston. They have to win that. Who else is down there? Barnsley play Reading, so
that's a game, mate. That is a game and a half. That is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be a tough one. That is.
Yeah.
Well, what else is going on in the Championship then this weekend? Luton Millwall will be a good one because they're both pushing for a playoff place. So that's going to be a really...
Reading get another win. I think that's them good.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I suppose.
They've got a game in hand and they're 8 points in front of Derby. And 7 points in front of... They've only won 6 games. All season, you expect them to win the last 3 or 4.
I know. But then most of those games have been... most of their wins have come recently, I think.
Yeah, it's not... Yeah. But,
I gotta say, mate, I look at that table now, and I know it's gone up and down a lot in the last couple of weeks. Well, as all season, but like particularly the last couple of weeks, I think Derby might be going down now, mate.
Yeah, no.
They look like they're just drifting a bit, which is
They've still got a chance, mate. They've still got a chance. They've got 7 games left, so they've got 21 points to play for. So,
and that's it. And he's got to galvanise them now, haven't he, for one big final push.
21 points. So, no, basically, they've got to get to, for me, they've got to get to 40 points. They've got to get 16 out of 21 to have any chance. And that means Reading only get 8 points from the next 7 games. So
it's going to be tricky, isn't it?
So that's 5 wins and a draw out of the last 7.
And you're depending on Reading only getting 8 more points, but also you're depending on Barnsley and Peterborough not having a run themselves. It's going to be very difficult for them.
Let's have a look at the fixtures. That Preston, they play Preston, and they play. So these are the probably Preston. They could winnable at home. Swansea, winnable. Fulham, even though it's at home, but that'll be tough. QPR, Bristol, Blackpool, and they play Cardiff last game of the season.
There's winnable games there for Derby.
Yeah, no. Well, there's at least 5 winnable games there. You could say Preston's winnable, Swansea's winnable, Bristol City at home's winnable, Blackpool, and then home last game of the season. It's Cardiff. You need to win that.
But you say that, but Derby have only won 11 games all season, haven't they?
But it's more than 6, isn't it? When you win 6, you're expected to win another 3 or 4 games. They're not in the best form either. They dipped at the wrong time, haven't they? If it was like a month ago in Derby, they were on a high, and then they've lost a couple, and it's just took the wind out of the sails.
Reece says he hopes that it's Cardiff that gets to confirm them as being relegated. Ooh. I want them to stay up simply because everyone thinks they're going to go down. Yeah. But
it'd be the best escape.
Yeah. Well, we said that, didn't we?
Ever,
yeah. Just the chances of it seem so slim. Question: Luton Town, they are 6 points behind Bournemouth in second. But Bournemouth have got 2 games in hand. Is there any way Luton Town can get that second spot?
No.
Even when you look at the fixtures?
No. Bournemouth and Fulham have been the far better team, and I don't see them
Luton got really
losing 2 more than Luton.
So Luton have got quite a lot of tough games, but they've been winning all season. So I mean, from that point of view, it's not necessarily a thing. But I think Bournemouth, if I remember correctly, I think their fixtures were pretty favourable. Yeah, see, they play Bristol, West Brom, Sheffield United, Middlesbrough, Coventry.
So you say that, mate, but they're all difficult in the
championship is the same, isn't it?
It's difficult. That's why it's so.
That's why
I'm saying Bournemouth and Fulham have clearly been the best 2 teams in that league. Fulham by a country mile.
But you say that though, mate. But then you got Luton, only 6 points behind Bournemouth in third. So same Huddersfield.
But you add another 6 points to that, mate, and the 2 games in hand, 12 points. So you say you had one. Say you had 1 more and then lost. So that's still 9 points.
Same, innit?
Luton are punching well above the weight, well above the weight, and
mate, I hope they get through the playoffs.
They're definitely in the playoffs. It's just can they perform playoffs?
You say that, mate. You say they're definitely in the playoffs. Luton and Huddersfield 63, Sheffield United and Blackburn 61, and then you've got 59, 58, 57, 55. It is so tight there.
Yeah, but they've got to make the game in hand on Huddersfield count. Yeah, got to make the game on Blackburn Rovers count because there's teams behind them with Forest 2 games in hand on them. They'll go in front of them if they win them 2 games in hand on them. Middlesbrough 1 game in hand on them. They'll go 1 point behind them if they win the 1 game in hand. So I still think they'll be strong enough to comfortably get in that playoff. But that's getting tight now. Really tight.
unbelievable.
Down to Forest, it could be any of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4,
I'd
5,
include
7
Millwall
teams.
in there.
7 teams there have got to fit into a space of 4. So
I'd have Millwall in there, mate, as well. Only a point behind Forest, and they'd be in good form as well.
No, not having Millwall.
I think if I was picking now, I think I'd go Luton, Borough, Blackburn, and either Sheffield United or Forest would be my 4, just on form. But we'll see. It's so any of those teams, literally from Luton to Millwall, in my opinion, any of those 4 could be in the playoffs at the end of the season.
Yeah,
I think Middlesbrough's in good form, Forest is in good form, Millwall is in good form, Luton's in good form. I think Sheffield United is in pretty good form as well. So, like, outside of that, it's pretty good. Like, I think the Championship is the best league in my opinion, just for excitement, because every season it goes down to the wire. Any team can beat any team. It makes it so much more enjoyable to not have the same teams just running away with it all the time. The same teams fighting relegation. Like, it's just enjoyable. So from next Thursday, we will be having a bonus 30 minutes of the Rhodri Giggs on Football show on Patreon for members and patrons from next Thursday, mate. We're going to start that because I got to go somewhere now. So basically, you'll get the usual hour or hour and a bit here, and then we'll be doing 30 minutes extra on Patreon. So if you want to join us for that, and you haven't signed up already, it's like price of a cup of coffee per month, and you get all sorts of shit on that as well. You get I think it's 2 extra shows, live shows a week. You also get to see the My Story episodes live, loads of other stuff. And if you I don't know, Rob Boyle will be able to tell you, or other people who are already members will be able to tell you some of the stuff you get. But you get all sorts of rewards and that for a couple of quid a month. Bargain. Keeps the channel going in the black, as it were, instead of the red. So, mate, right, just to finish us off, we got the Women's Euros coming up, innit, soon? Is that soon? Have I misjudged that? I'm sure that's soon. I'm trying to find a date. Someone in the chat can tell me now. When's the Women's Euros? To finish us off, mate, I want you to tell me what you thought of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
I just think it's fake. It's just fixed. It's just a load of crap.
Do you? That's interesting.
I just don't see how you can let him get away with that.
Well, I guess the way we'll know if it's fake or not is if they will kick him out of the academy and they take his Oscar away from him.
Should have kicked him out once he'd done it. As soon as he done it.
I read today they asked him to leave and he refused. And I was like, hang on a minute.
No.
If you assault someone,
you don't ask him. You to get 2 security guys and say, "Listen, if you don't get up, I'm going to drag you out. Get up." It's as simple as that.
Exactly that, mate.
Simple as that. Oh, I'm not going anywhere. All right. Well, you're just going to get dragged out on national TV. Mate. It's up to you. You may be, maybe played Muhammad Ali, but I guarantee that you don't fight like him. So if you get up, or you're getting dragged out, simple as that.
Here's my question.
And that would have been ruined his night, because then the winner is Will Smith. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's banned. He's just slapped the host, so he's not allowed in. Well done. Yeah. While your missus is laughing and chuckling to
don't get me started on it.
Last year, she was. I'm not going to even go into it, but it's widely documented what she was doing last year. Why didn't he slap that rapper?
Exactly that.
Yeah, we know what he's doing.
But here's another question, then, mate. Right? Let's say. I don't know. Let's say it was 50 Cent was giving out.
I reckon you should put Ricky Gervais back there next week. Next year.
There's a petition for Jimmy Carr, mate.
Ricky Gervais. We should big poll. Who should we have next year? Send Ricky in. He'll sort it out. Yeah. Then they'll want Chris Rock back with the harsh joke and the little mild ones. It's a little mild
here's
one.
The thing, mate. It was such a harmless joke. It was ridiculous. But do you know what, mate?
It was all fixed. Well, you've seen a video from it today from behind, and she's laughing while he's slapping him, and then laughing while it's after the afterwards and the after while he's taught. It's just it's Hollywood. So
Can't trust it. Can you?
Everyone's
and here's the question,
talking about it. The Oscars. No one gives a shit about the Oscars anymore. But now it's back in everyone.
Well, that's the thing. The ratings have been diabolical for the Oscars the last couple of years.
It's boring.
It's shit.
It's boring.
Here's the question: would Will Smith have slapped? Let's say 50 Cent was up there and he made a
negative.
He's not walking up there
Would
to
he have
slap
slapped
him, is he?
Jamie Foxx? Negative. Would he have slapped Eddie Murphy? Negative.
No.
Would he have slapped David Chappelle? Maybe.
The Rock,
because he's skinny and old as well.
But you know what Dave Chappelle would have done if he had slapped him? Is he would have done exactly what Chris Rock did. Like played it off as a professional, and then he would have ripped him to pieces for the next hour, just doing all sorts of jokes and actually done offensive jokes.
He's that way inclined, but
yeah.
There's a load of comedians out there that it's their act. If you don't like it, tell them.
Oh, mate, it's literally his job. When you're hosting those things, is to give the celebrities a bit of light ribbon.
Bad scene in the acting and just walking over to you and slapping you and saying, "No, I don't like that."
Pathetic, mate.
Oh yeah, but my wife's got a condition. Oh, right, come on, it's mild. He didn't know, so
and it wasn't like
you're
a really
not judge
horrible
and jury.
joke,
What you are is an overspoiled narcissist dickhead who just thinks you can just walk up to someone and slap them and get away with it. What kind of world are we living in where someone can walk up to someone and slap him and get away with it? And then 10 minutes later, everyone in the room claps as he's won an award and stand up. It's like, piss off. I'd got off and gone, nah, I'm not having any of this. None of it. It's just, it's Hollywood. It's bullshit, fake crap.
There's a petition.
It's entertaining, but it's fake and it's not real.
There's a petition. People are trying to get Jimmy Carr to do it next year.
Jim. I don't mind Jimmy. Jimmy's all right. He don't pull punches.
Get him into pieces for it. But
there's a few people you can put in there. And don't trust me, you will see jokes coming out about this, and Will Smith will get his ass torn out through comedians. They will go to work on him. Trust me, it's the worst thing he probably could have done, because Chris Rock is one of the OGs of comedians.
Yeah.
Especially in America. So, and the comedians all love him. Now, him and David Chappelle, there's Eddie Murphy, and there's, the Chris Rock, David Chappelle, Kevin Hart, all the rest of them. Yeah, they'll go to town on him. Him and his wife.
If you
his wife, who was like proper, and she was a hood ratter 20 years ago, rolling about with Tupac. Now she's all, the weirdos, them Smiths, the weirdos. The weirdos as well. So
the way she brought that show out last year, and absolutely, she couldn't have done any more to emasculate him into the world. Some of the stuff she was saying, how she was so in love with Tupac, she's never loved like that, and then how she's been cheating on him and slept with all these people in their open relationship, and she made him look like a right cunt.
Yeah, and he just he just went along with it
I think he just hit a breaking point. I do, but
he just went on like a bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. It's funny though, because that's what I was gonna say. So if you, after we've finished now, go on my Facebook page. I shared a thing with Andrew Schultz, comedian, a video which he opened his podcast with this week, and it's called The Roast of Will Smith. And he literally, mate, for 5 minutes just goes in hard, every joke you can think, and it's so funny, mate. And I was I really wish Chris Rock should have done that after he slapped him. Should have done all those jokes.
There's nothing more than I love than them things, than comedy roasts, celebrity roasts, the Golden Globes. I must have watched them a million times on YouTube. I love them because I just love these celebrities. Can seem screaming because they're not used to it, because everyone's going, "Oh, I love you. You're so brilliant." And then someone's just ripping into him. I love it. can't get enough of it. It's brilliant.
I do.
I watched one with. That's why I love Jimmy Carr, because I've been watching one recently, like a comedy roast they have on in America, and he's roasting Peyton Manning, and he proper goes to town. He says, "Peyton, you look like someone with Down syndrome, wish he was big." He just rips him, and it's like, oh, he's feeling comfortable, and he rips like Pete Davidson. He says, I'm appalled how people are bringing Pete Davidson, because Pete Davidson's dad died in the
9/11.
9/11.
Yeah,
so he goes, I'm appalled that the people are bringing Pete Davidson's father into this. This is not the roast of Pete Davidson's father. That was in 2001. And you see everyone just go, ooh, but he's like buzzing off it.
Yeah, Pete Davidson loves it, doesn't he? They're quality, mate. But that video,
Jimmy Carr
is a really good one. Jimmy Carr is my favorite comedian. I think he's proper good. Like,
but
I don't want to.
He's up there. He's up there. I do like the American ones, but Jimmy Carr, I like Jimmy Carr.
I like the comedians like him and Gervais and Chris Rock and Chappelle. I like that they're so popular and they're so rich that they can't be cancelled, which means they don't give a shit, which means they can just...
They can do their own thing and just put it on Netflix, can't they?
Yeah.
They've got Netflix.
And the thing is, though, mate, is if you cancel Jimmy Carr, do you know what he does? He goes to his YouTube channel and he says, right, I'm going to put all my stuff here, gets a film professionally, and makes money from that, because he'd end up with millions of subscribers and views and that. Yeah,
there's loads of ways they can do it
money anyway.
Loads of ways, different ways they can do it, yeah.
Yeah, Sean Locke is another good one.
Sean Locke,
I miss him.
Yeah, he died last year, didn't he?
Yeah. Made stand-up comedy.
A few I like. There's a few old ones, though, that have died, like that I watch. Old ones, Greg Giraldo.
Who's the one who was really controversial, like the American guy? Oh, what's his name?
I love Bernie Mac as well.
Bernie Mac was quality. There was an American guy. I can't believe I can't remember his name. He used to do quite a lot of like political stuff. Oh, that's gonna bug.
Summit Jones.
Carlin. No, I can't remember his name. It'll come back to me. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, well, they say, and still never be as old as you, son. Yeah. There we go.
Has it not been sunny in Cardiff?
Earlier this week was really nice, and then yesterday was a bit murky and rained a little bit. Bill Hicks, that's the one I was thinking of. Right. And then today it's gone all sorts of.
I seem to have caught the sun a bit. Where you look like Casper still. You need to get out,
mate. It's because I poorly bad. Right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, it's been a pleasure. Don't forget, from next week you get an extra half an hour, so make sure you join us. Sunday, Danny Batten Fight Show. Got a Bellator superstar. Tim Wilde is joining us. Really looking forward to that. Always love having the new guests on there. And I got loads of good stuff. I did an interview recently with filmmaker Pete Jones, who's got a documentary coming out about John Toshak. So I got an interview with him coming. And I've also got an interview with UFC star Corey McKenna coming this week. And it's all good in the hood. Sign up, join up, follow, do all that good stuff. And that video I was on from Andrew Schultz is on my personal Facebook, which is you can see the public posts if you follow me. So follow me and you can see the public posts. The only thing you can't see is pictures of my kids because they're private. Laters.